So I, F53, have 3 children, Caleb, M26, Kate, F24, and Madison, F19. We are very close family and we tend to do a lot together. Caleb got married last year to Ashley, F25. We really like her. We are as close to her as she lets us get. By that I mean that we treat her like family and invite her to everything, but she usually only decides to join us every 3rd time or so. She is an only child and close with her parents, so we accommodate holidays around her schedule. Before Caleb and Ashley got married, her Mo threw her a bridal shower. They chose the same weekend as our family reunion. Kate and I skipped the family reunion to go to the shower, but the rest of the family did not. Since our family missed the shower, I decided to throw her another surprise shower and invited all our family that missed the shower, her mom, and the bridal party. I chose a tea party theme. The shower went well, I thought, but as people were leaving, I overheard Ashley thanking her friends for being good sports about the lame tea party. She never complained to me directly, but it did hurt my feelings. Last month, my daughters and I went to get pedicures and invited Ashley, but she declined. We were talking about the Bridgerton release coming up and planned a watch party. We're having an afternoon tea. Madison asked if Ashley was coming, but I said no because Ashley doesn't like Bridgerton or tea parties. The last watch party we had for Queen Charlotte, we invited her and she left after about an hour and a half through the show. She said she just couldn't get into it. During this, DH is going out to a poker night and he invited Caleb. When Caleb asked Ashley about it, he found out we hadn't invited her to watch with us. He called me up and yelled at me. I told him that I didn't invite her because she doesn't like tea parties and that she doesn't like Bridgerton. He said that didn't matter, I should have invited her anyway. I called Ashley, apologized to her, and told her that we didn't invite her because she doesn't like the show, and she just responded, "You're right, I don't." So I just changed the subject and asked if we were doing Mother's Day the same schedule as usual. She said yes. But then, because I still hadn't invited her, Caleb called and said they weren't coming to Mother's Day at all and that I was being a jerk for excluding her. Here's where I'm to. I don't want her to come and that's why I'm not inviting her. She was distracting when we watched Queen Charlotte, making comments about things she didn't like about the show, and giving us dirty looks when we were goofing around in British accents. She declined any tea, and just fidgeted until she left. I don't want to have to worry if she thinks it's lame or that we're being silly, or if she is enjoying herself. But now my son is mad and telling me I'm being mean and horrible to his wife. Comment 1. NTA, but everyone in this thread is insane. The fact that everyone is assuming the daughter-in-law is a scheming witch because her husband is upset while she is apparently not. The husband can never be upset without his scheming wife making him do it. Women are controlling two-faced harpies all the time because they don't like surprise tea parties or want to hang all the time is so funny to see. OP comment. I don't think she's a scheming witch. I just don't think she likes being around us that much. I'm not mad about that, just a little sad. I understand we are loud and not what she is used to. Her parents are older and she was a surprise late in life. I think her life before us was pretty quiet. I do also think my son is overprotective of her. Comment 2. NTA she's made it clear that she doesn't like that sort of thing and she wasn't the one that was upset about not being invited. I think this is your son's problem. He sees that his wife is not blending with his family but he's someone putting the responsibility on you. You need to talk to your son about his expectations, especially considering his wife keeps refusing your invitations. My husband, Tom, and I recently moved into our house. Today we hosted our first dinner party with my mother-in-law, father-in-law, brother-in-laws and their wives and sister-in-law. I took a day off from my business to make sure everything was perfect. I spent hours on my feet to make sure everything was perfect. I went grocery shopping, cleaned the house and cooked. By the time everyone got here I was exhausted but I still entertained everyone because I was so excited to have them over. Everyone was having a good time, even mother-in-law. I think it's because Tom and I sat at opposite end of the table and she got to sit next to him. We moved to the living room to have dessert, and that's when everything went to crap. I was in the kitchen with sister-in-law plating up the desserts she brought and making more ice cream. A few minutes later Tom came back and started clearing up the dishes that were on the table. I didn't ask him to do this, he's just like this. Mother-in-law heard us talking and came to the kitchen and saw Tom loading the dishwasher. She asked if he knew what he was doing and he told he did. Mother-in-law came in after Tom went back to the living room and said, "I forgot some of the other stuff," she said. Pug lover no 1565, if you needed help with cleaning up you could have asked us to do it instead of stressing Tom with it. He's not good at this sort of thing and he has had a long day at work. The key to happy marriage is working together and making life easier for each other. Tom works so hard, he bought this house and everything in it to make life easier for you. The least you can do is clean up. I told her I didn't ask for help, Tom just helped because this is house too and he wants to make life easier for me. I also asked her if she realized it wasn't 1993 because Tom isn't a baby anymore, he's capable of cleaning up, it's not rocket science. I told her we don't need marriage advice, especially from her because she said something about making our marriage last while she's was on marriage number 3/7 at my age. She called me angry and said I had no need to be vicious. I told her I'd show her vicious and I left the room. Mother-in-law followed me to the door and I told her get out, she did and then started crying. Everyone came to see what was going on and I told them I'm tired of mother-in-law and her nastiness she tries to hide by being passive-aggressive. Father-in-law apologized for her and I told him I don't accept, she can apologize for herself or leave. Tom and his brother Andrew told her to apologize and she refused, so I shut the door in her face and went to the kitchen. Father-in-law and one of DH's brothers and his girlfriend left soon after. The rest that stayed had a good time and they left 2 hours ago. All hell has broken loose and I'm getting messages basically calling me an asshole. I don't think I was, but Tom and everyone who stayed is biased because they can't stand mother-in-law, so I don't know. Comment 1, NTA. She needs to mind her own beeswax. But maybe someone can explain to me something. So many people in this sub use the term passive-aggressive for solidly aggressive behavior. She was 100% clear about her complaint. She wasn't hinting. In my mind, passive aggression is talking around the issue. Like saying loudly, "Oh, Tom, do you feel up to working so hard to clean up? I know how hard you work supporting your family." I thought the point behind being passive-aggressive is to be able to deny that's what you meant. She was perfectly clear what she meant. Comment 2. Officially, Justified gets voted as NTA. Mill was absolutely TA for giving unsolicited advice to an adult. Your reaction was quite strong, but justified. Not only was she insulting you, but she was insulting your husband and your relationship. Comment 3. NTA. Your mother-in-law likes to dish it out and turn up the heat but can't handle it when the frying pan gets too hot. She is definitely bucking for rank, she's trying to impose her authority, she fails to accept that she is only a guest in your home and that insulting the hostess is incredibly rude. Probably good you stood up to her, just ignore all the nonsense from the rest of the family. This is between you, your husband and her. If she ever expects to be invited back, she needs to act like a proper guest. I went to a local fun fair with my kids and mother-in-law. We decided to walk around looking at all the rides before deciding what to go on. Mother-in-law had forgotten her wallet, so it would be me buying any rides. This let me relax about the sometimes tricky dynamic of who is paying for what. As we walked past a prize stall, "Pay money to win a prize," mother-in-law commented in shock at the high price and I agreed. At the next ride, my husband joined us. He and I were chatting when we noticed that mother-in-law had gone back to the previous prize stall with the kids. He asked urgently what I had agreed with her about that stall, and I, slightly confused at his urgency, remembered we had both thought it overpriced. I knew she didn't have money on her, so I assumed they had just gone back to look. We have disagreed with mother-in-law many times about her excessive, in our view, gifts for the kids. Each visit she buys toys which soon get discarded, or more sweets and snacks than the kids can eat. This is important to us because, A, we want to teach the kids moderation and value rather than excessive disposable expenditure, B, we are worried about the environment and the excess of toys contributes to landfill, C, while she has the right to use her money, the amount spent on this stuff feels wasteful when it could be used for more lasting things for the kids. Back to the fun fair. My husband insisted I tell him what I had agreed with Mill. We hadn't agreed anything, I told him. We agreed it was priced too high. I then noticed she had taken out her phone to pay using her contactless payment. Husband said he didn't want her buying it, and I said he should go tell her. He insisted he didn't want to do that before finding out what I had agreed with her. I told him if he could see what was happening he should go and stop her. By now it was finished, and I said look, it's done now, it's her money to spend, and if she wants to have fun with the kids by spending £15 on a prize stall, that's up to her, and that I hadn't agreed anything with her as I believed she had forgotten her wallet. After we got home he picked a huge fight with me, telling me he was really distressed by the landfill of the prizes, the toys are already falling apart, and the repeated messages this kind of spending sends to the kids about the value of things. His main complaint at me is that when we first saw the stall before he joined us, he insists I should have told mother-in-law not to buy it for the kids, and the facts that, A, I believed she had no means of paying and, B, had commented on how overpriced it was were not relevant. I still should explicitly have said that we didn't want her to buy anything. I think this is unreasonable and would have made things really awkward at what was supposed to be a fun outing. He says it's my fault that mother-in-law spent her money on poor quality prizes which will be landfill by next week. Was it my fault? Comment 1. NTA. Your husband should be the one speaking with his mother about things like that. It's strange that he expected you to anticipate what his mother would do. It's also strange that he thinks the message would be better received from you than from her own son. Comment 2. NTA. TBH, your husband sounds a bit insane. I don't think it's healthy to think of things immediately as landfill. Fix up the toys and donate them to someone in need. Do you just throw things out as soon as you don't need them? You guys were at a fair, it's completely reasonable to let kids play for toys at stalls at a fair. For fun. His way of blaming you rather than his mother, putting the responsibility on your shoulders, is all a whole behavior as well. My daughter, Jenny, 13, has a best friend, Morgan, nearly 13. The two of them spend a lot of time together at our place. I do not know Morgan's mother very well as Jenny doesn't often go to their house. This is mainly because Morgan's house is a little chaotic. She has 4 siblings. Jenny is an only child and Morgan has said she likes the quiet. Morgan has done a lot of stuff with us. I occasionally enter radio/online competitions and will win tickets to certain local events. When I won 4 tickets to a concert last year, Jenny and I brought Morgan along with one other friend. We all had a blast. Recently, I won another pair of tickets to a concert that I planned to attend with Jenny. A few days after, I was told about a work trip that I have to take that falls that weekend. Jenny usually comes with me. So, Jenny suggested we give the tickets to Morgan for her birthday. She could either go with another friend or her mom. I checked with Morgan's mom before we mentioned this to Morgan and she said that was fine. Last night, Morgan was at our house and she seemed upset. When I asked why, she said her mom was taking her brother to the concert because her brother has never been to a concert before. I asked if Morgan's brother even liked the band and Morgan said no, it was just the principle of the matter. Morgan and her other 3 siblings have been to concerts. He hasn't, and since they can't afford stuff like this, he gets to go. I found this unfair and honestly a waste of tickets. I called Morgan's mom to double-check this story and she confirmed it all, including her 11-year-old son barely knowing anything about the band. I said I'm sorry, but I don't feel right giving these as a birthday gift anymore as these were for Morgan. I said we'd give them to Jenny and Morgan's other friend who I know likes the band, and we'll get Morgan something else for her birthday. Morgan is fine with this. Morgan's mom is pissed and says I'm trying to tell her how to parent. I don't think I am, because if a different friend gave Morgan the tickets and it was the same result, as shitty as I'd find her mom doing this, I wouldn't say anything as that's not my business. As I am giving the tickets, I want them to go to Morgan. I'd also maybe feel different if the brother loved the band too, but as he doesn't, I don't want to give them. Comment 1. NTA. As much as I understand Morgan's mom wants to give equal opportunity to her son as the other siblings, it's Morgan's birthday gift coming from you and that wasn't your intention. She should have just accepted it and say okay and figure out a way to take her son to a concert that he'd actually enjoy. Comment 2. You are being a hero to Morgan. That's all that matters. But, make sure you do it in such a way that Morgan can still play with your daughter. Maybe cool to ask what type of music the brother likes and say good to know, I will try to win tickets, or maybe we can take the grills and brother to the concert when it comes around. Befriend mom so you have the ability to be around to support Morgan. Comment 3. NTA. It would be different if Morgan gave her birthday gift to her brother and was happy about it, but her mom is just taking her birthday gift away from her. I would judge a parent negatively for taking away one child's birthday gift and giving it to another. If she wanted her son to go to a concert or felt the kids needed more equality, then she could have said something about it when you asked about giving tickets as a gift.